Hey guys, welcome back to the drawing board. Today, I'm going to be showing you an old character design concept I worked on a while back for something called the Lemur Wizard. I thought it'd be interesting to see the process from start to finish, first as a rough concept, figuring out how to incorporate all the details that the design brief required for the character, like color themes, objects and materials expected to be used on the character, things like that. So, now that you know the plan, let's get started. So, the design brief given was this. The task: create a character, an animal character, called Lemur Wizard. A young lemur wizard who loves experiments with potions or with a book of spells. The character should be cute, emotional, with dynamic forms and a clear silhouette. He or she must have casual proportions and a detailed anatomy. The character has magical attributes and a special cloth on it for the character. Rendering style is casual, soft, with neat shapes and elaborate textures like wool, metal, wood, etc. Clean, bright colors, no burnt or dirty ones. The character must be clearly visible in a small format and his anatomy should be well worked out. On the plus side, there will be dynamic, interesting poses and a short story of his magical experiments told in the final version. So the design brief was pretty clear. They also gave a few reference images, and as you can see, they all look like mobile game characters, which I think we can work with. So let's get into seeing how I did. So the plan was to do a black and white draft, then make a color concept based on that, and then finally do the final render. So first I decided to do a little bit of Googling and just be sure I knew what a lemur was, because it's one of those very confusing tropical animals that you might just mix up with something else. It kind of looks like a mix between a raccoon and a monkey. So once I looked at some images of lemurs online, I decided to try my hand at just getting a general idea of what a lemur looks like, and so that's what I first drew. And then once I got the hang of that, I then started trying to figure out how to turn this into a cartoon character. Once I was happy with my general outline for the character, I decided to start blocking off different parts of the drawing on different layers. I didn't like the look of the first wooden staff that I gave my character, so I decided to change it up to something that looked more like a walking stick, and I realized that I hadn't incorporated magic potions anywhere, and so I decided to have that as an added element off of this wooden staff. I also decided to add in a magical spell book to add to the magical charm. Once I blocked out the different shapes for the character's outline, I decided to move on to deciding on the colors. The design brief said to use clean, bright colors, so I decided to go with purple and yellow for the cloth that I was using on my character. Now that all the colors have been selected and blocked off, it was time to start shading the different parts of the character. Just making some adjustments here and there, just making sure everything looks good. So now I think my character is complete. So let me show you what it looks like as the outline, the black and white version, and then the color version, and then the final render. I quite liked working on it. I hope you liked watching it as well. Anyway, I'll see you at the next drawing board. Bye guys.